President Tinubu has identified commitment, courage, and compassion as recipe for Nigeria's greatness as the country celebrates 63rd independence anniversary. We'll also be telling you, in the mood of the celebration, the latest coming from the meeting between the federal government and the organized labor. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on this special edition of the news. I am Abdullah Hajia, welcoming you. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying tuned. First, we begin with stories making rounds. Actualizing a better Nigeria will require courage, compassion, and commitment as one indivisible nation, unit, and not by fear or hatred. In his address to commemorate Nigeria's 63rd independence anniversary, President Bola Tinubu identified these three recipes for greatness as Nigeria navigates her journey ahead. The report.
Dear compatriots,
First official appearance of President Bola Tinubu since his return from the UN General Assembly trip. It's on the anniversary of his country's national sovereignty, commemorating a journey continually filled with lots of patriotic sacrifices. And the sitting Nigerian leader acknowledges the effort of the founding fathers and mothers who secured the emancipation of the nation from the shackles of colonialism and those who have propelled the unity for 63 years down the lane.
some people have said an independent Nigeria should never have come into existence. Some have said that our country will be torn apart. They are forever mistaken. Here, our nation stands, and here we shall remain.
The nation has maintained its unity, but the man in front believes a greater Nigeria still requires brave decisions and dogged determination that he said he has signed up to since inauguration. Some attendant hardship on the citizens albeit the president says that is a necessary momentary sacrifice toward a better future. And so to ameliorate the consequential effect on the people, President Tinubu says the interventions are on the way, including the release of CNG-powered buses to ease transportation.
Based upon our talks with labor, business, and other stakeholders, we are introducing a provisional wage award increment to enhance the federal minimum wage without causing undue inflation. For the next 6 months, the average low-grade worker shall receive additional 25,000 naira per month.
He also enumerated other policies and programs aimed at improving the economy, which include tax reforms, inauguration of a new leadership for the Central Bank of Nigeria, and the Infrastructure Development Initiative in collaboration with state governments. The President also acknowledges the roles of partners in driving governance, including the national legislature and judiciary, as well as labor unions and civil society organizations. From the State House, Musbau and Wahab, NT News.
All of you.
Thank you, Musbau. Now, the federal government has met with the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Trade Union Congress, TUC, on measures to address the dispute arising from the removal of fuel subsidy on premium motor spirits. The federal government has announced 35,000 naira as provisional wage award for all Treasury-paid federal government workers for 6 months, following further consultation with President Bola Tinubu. The federal government affirms that it remains committed to fast-tracking the provision of compressed natural gas (CNG) buses to ease public transportation difficulties associated with the removal of PMS subsidy. And an impressed commitment an express commitment to the provision of funds for micro and small-scale enterprises, while VAT on diesel will be waived for the next 6 months. The federal government also said it will commence payments of 75,000 naira to 15 million households at, at 25% per month for a 3 month period from October to December 2023. In light of the discussions, the federal government has urged the labor unions not to embark on strike action as the issues in dispute can only be resolved when workers are at work. NLC and TUC will consider their offers by the federal government with a view to suspending the planned strike to allow for further consultations on the implementation of the resolutions. Now, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has congratulated residents on the occasion of the 63rd independence anniversary of the nation. In a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary Antonio Gunleye, the minister says the day holds significant historical and cultural importance for Nigeria as it is a moment to reflect on past achievements and the path to an even greater future ahead. He says, the past 63 years, Nigeria has faced its fair share of challenges and triumphs at a journey as the nation has marked by moments of joy and sorrow, progress and setbacks. Yet through it all, the nation has remained steadfast, resilient, and hopeful. Yeston Wike says, as the 17th FCT minister, he pledges to build a strong and resilient society that requires collective effort, saying that FCT symbolizes the coming together of people from all corners of Nigeria, calling on all to remember their unique role as residents by living up to the tenets of unity that our capital represents. The minister pledges commitment by enhancing the infrastructural development of the FCT and improving essential social services to meet the growing needs of the residents. He, however, solicits the support of residents by fulfilling their civic responsibilities by paying their taxes, including ground rents and utility bills. These contributions are crucial for sustaining and enhancing the services and infrastructures that make the city more functional. Now, Nigeria became a republic in 1963. Therefore, political analysts say Nigeria's politics is moving fast away from nascent stage to a matured one. Aisha Ubali in this report looks at some of those milestones, achievements as a nation politically.
Sectors like health, science, ICT, among others, make up active and vibrant sectors for any society to thrive. But analysts say in the middle of all of this is politics. The dynamism of Nigeria's politics has been admired by many, evolving to accommodate changes that have strengthened politics and democratic institutions in Nigeria.
So all I will say is that we need leaders who can correct the mistakes of the past and move Nigeria forward. That's the kind of leaders that we're looking for. And I see Nigeria getting there because, you know, on a step-by-step basis, you get to where you are getting.
For the Federal Capital Territory is a turning point. For the first time since 1999, an FCT indigene was made a minister. Another achievement of Nigeria as a nation is considering the more involvement of young people in politics, especially with the Not Too Young to Run bill.
Records of saying there's a 37-year-old minister, there's a 30-year-old minister, that's showing that government is now including the youths. And we're lucky enough to also have a president who has a line of successor, who is Sheyi Tinubu, who is his son, that is also active and making sure that the youths are being carried along. It's someone that has proven himself and has made everybody realize that the youths have a lot to offer.
The FCT Area Council electoral process will also be witnessing a paradigm shift. Suleiman Aminu joined politics at the age of 35, but today at 50 plus, he sees a different view of Nigerian politics.
As one thing that we know, before he left this seat of power, he will make sure that youth, they are going to be all over Nigeria, so that he will make sure that he fixes them, because he already have a flock of youth. So that's why you see someone like me, I'm just 35 years old, I'm 18, now I'm 3, over to 90 years. So we have some people like us, we are many. That is also is someone that I think we can be relied on to make sure that he can fix a youth in good direction.
The recent appointment of Mandate's Secretary Area Council Services in person of Beatrice Lawrence Gerike shows that the young people are not left behind.
To you, representing the largest constituency, which is the youth constituency, we were promised inclusiveness, inclusion in governance by Mr. President, and this is a testament to.
Political analysts have also opined that Nigeria at 63 is in their need of transformational leaders who will carry on the vision and legacies of founding fathers, at the same time torchbearers.
I would say that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his ambition for positive transformation of this nation is what made him run for the president of Nigeria. He has always been a transformative leader and an inclusive leader that carries everybody along. So if we are talking about the founding fathers, I think that if we are to give example of someone that can be referred to as a dreamer for Nigerians' progress, I think we will call President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as number one.
63 years of Nigerians' independence. FCT residents, especially the indigents, are appreciative of the FCT ministerial appointment, but still appeal the lawmakers should consider giving the territory a mayor and expanding the legislative seats.
Now, Ajia, the question on the lips of many is, how can political actors escalate their efforts as well as engage and get involved genuinely to the growth and development of the nation politically? Well, if this question is not answered today, it could be answered someday. It's back to you, Ajia, in the studio.
Thank you, Vintage and Patriotic Aisha. There, I can see you in your national colors there, doing what you know how to do best. Thank you, Aisha. But still with some of this special report, Abuja, the nation's capital, has continued to grow in leaps and bounds, but not without some challenges impending the rapid development of this city. In this special report, Onozi Yakubu takes a look at some of the infrastructure developments of Abuja in the last 1 year as Nigeria commemorates 63rd independence anniversary. Shaibu, take it from here.
With the new sheriff in town, a new chapter has been opened on contract awards and execution, as all projects to be constructed in the FCT will now be tied to the internally generated revenue. This is to avoid creating abandoned and uncompleted infrastructure in the territory.
Slowly and steadily, Abuja, the federal capital city over the years, and in line with the official statistics, has continued to witness high influx of people into the city, just as the Federal Capital Territory Administration is squaring up with the infrastructural needs of the residents in the areas of housing, transportation, roads construction, water supply, among other social amenities. City managers say the major challenge remains the infractions distorting the city master plan. With the new sheriff in town, the narrative is changing, with a policy direction that tends to be results-oriented. FCT Minister Yenson Wike, on assumption of office, made it clear that it will no longer be business as usual, especially in contract execution in the territory.
Now to the contractors, let me warn you now. All these deals, what are they doing with the engineering services? It don't go work again. I hear what they talk now. Nothing like variation, it will not work. Job of 1 naira. In the next 7 days, it will become 15 naira. It will not work.
I'm sure with Mr. Project, Abuja is going to be something else. I pray with Almighty Allah that we get all the support we need from the people of FCT for us to achieve.
The operation of the Abuja Light Rail is another critical project that is getting priority attention by the present administration, as marching order has been given to ensure the resumption of the train services in no too distant time.
What we've seen today is a great job. The facilities that were vandalized, we've gone through over 60% of the railroad. We took a ride on it. So I can very comfortably and conveniently and convincingly state that the vandalized part of the railroads have been duly completed. The cleaning is going on and the cables for the communication. So against the projection of about 9 months or so in the contract, I think we are going to have the masses ride on the train much earlier than was expected.
The belief of stakeholders is that with the new policy direction of the 17th FCT Minister Nyesom Wike, Abuja, the nation's capital city, will begin to wear a new look as contractors will get mobilized to site with funds provided.
That has been the situation on the efforts of the FCT Minister in giving the nation's capital city a facelift. It's back to you in the studio and happy 63rd anniversary celebration. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Onoze. They are giving us an overview of how some of this infrastructure development will be given a priority attention in the coming days. Well, that's a good one. You're watching the 1 p.m. news, a special edition on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. Still to come on the news. Corresponding on special assignments.
Good evening, glad to have you join us.
Thanks for joining us on Weekly News Wrap.
Thank you very much for having me.
And it is on that note we welcome you to today's edition of the program.
We celebrate creativity, lasting impressions.
There's no book stating that this is the role for men.
On the news.
On the news at 7.
The Meeting Station, NTA Channel 5, Abuja.
Would say have a lovely day.
Thank you for staying tuned. The police and other security agencies are determined to continue to heighten rates of black spots, advanced spots, and search police visibility among other anti-crime strategies deployed in the Federal Capital Territory. These are meant to rid the FCT of all criminalities. Sefiano Mauche in this report tells us more.
Thank you, studio. Happy Independence to you. I will say strategies to improve security in the FCT are in place, looking at the launch on counterterrorism operations and Operation Sweep, as well as other security measures to rid the city of heinous crimes. One chance operations, kidnapping, banditry,